Now, Julie, I would like to ask you, can you tell us what pornography is? Can you define pornography for us, please?
I think Mr. Go did it quite well.
No, I'm asking you, Julie. Could you please define for us what pornography is, as a librarian?
So first of all, only a court of law can actually define what is pornographic. We buy only from reputable vendors.
No, ma'am, you're not answering my question. You're spewing rhetoric. I am asking you a simple, honest question, and I would like a simple, honest answer. If you're a college graduate and you're a librarian, the purveyor of information, you certainly should be able to answer the question, what constitutes pornography and obscenity?
So let me just interject here if I may. So we probably all know the Supreme Court struggled to define pornography with one justice saying, you know it when you see it. I don't know a better definition than that. I don't know what the legal definition is.
Well, I have the Black's Law Dictionary legal definition right here.
I'm not a lawyer. Julie's not a lawyer. It's not our jobs to define pornography. It is our jobs to follow the law. And as she was getting ready to answer, if you'll let me please, we only buy from reputable legal publishers in the United States. Those publishers are required to comply by laws against pornography and obscenity. If they violate those laws, those publishers and the individual heads of those publishers can be sued and charged criminally as well as civilly. So they have a huge interest in making sure they don't violate those laws. We do not buy from anyone other than those kinds of publishers. And we are very careful and very mindful of that. And all I can tell you, and I'm trying to answer you the best way I can, is that our attorneys have told us that they see nothing to indicate that there are any pornographic or obscene materials under the law in our libraries at this time.
So perhaps
now, we're happy to review materials and go through the process and review them in detail and very, very carefully and thoughtfully, and as needed, discuss it with attorneys and make sure that we're on the right side of everything. But the fact of the matter is, are there materials in the library that any of us and all of us find offensive? Sure. Do we agree on what those materials are? We might some. Do we disagree on what materials are offensive? I guarantee. But as a public library, the other thing the attorneys have told us is we have to provide material and content that's based on the needs and the desires of the entire community. We cannot restrict our collection to any particular viewpoints, nor can we exclude particular viewpoints. That's unconstitutional, we're told. So that's where we are big picture-wise.
So children and teenagers need to see boys having oral sex. They need to read about pornography in these books. So that apparently is information and enlightenment.
Well, let me just add one other thing, if I may. So our policies currently are no children under 13 are allowed to be in the libraries if they're not escorted by a parent or guardian or responsible adult. No children under the age of 18 can have their own accounts without parental consent or guardian consent. Parents have complete control over those accounts, complete transparency into those accounts. And unless a parent allows a child to view collections unsupervised, unescorted, unless a parent allows a child to check out a book, I don't even know if our library staff would allow a child to do it, but let's say they do, a 16-year-old to check out a book that the parent would find objectionable, the only way that happens is if the parent allows it. And to my knowledge, you correct me if I'm wrong, to my knowledge, we've never had a complaint from a single parent saying, my child got this material from your library, how in the heck did that happen?
Right. So you're still falling back on the excuse of parents' responsibility, which we acknowledge it is, but it still doesn't answer the question of there is explicit pornography and obscenity for books for children and teenagers in the library, and why are you allowing it? I mean, we have the legal definitions. It's right here.
The First Amendment does not require the Botetourt County Board of Supervisors to buy pornography with taxpayer money at the threat of taking real property, real estate, or personal property if they don't pay their taxes to support it. And that's what you're advocating. And further, you're advocating a California or New York standard for Botetourt County. We are Botetourt County. We're not Los Angeles. We're not New York City. Now, that's the standard you've given us, but that's not the standard of Botetourt County.
We're not even Roanoke City.
Well, and let me just clarify, I'm not advocating anything.
No, that's exactly what the
No.
policy is advocating.
So all we're trying to do is follow the laws and the policies as they exist. And
And the policy is local standards.